Are you ready to level up your vocabulary so that you can express yourself completely? Well, good news! Today you're going to learn some key expressions that will help you to express yourself in daily life. And I guarantee you will hear these expressions in movies and TV shows. So when you watch them, you'll be able to understand them more easily. Hi, I'm Atena from Learning English with Atena. Alright, let's get started with the first expression. The first expression is out of pocket. For parents have to pay for preschool out of pocket. This means that they have to pay for it themselves. It is not provided by the government. There is no subsidy. It's something that parents have to pay for themselves. Or you could say that in the US, usually a company will pay a percentage of your health insurance, and you have to pay the other percentage out of pocket. That means that you are responsible for paying for it. Important expression number 2 is to pull out of a hat. We're talking about a figurative hat here. For instance, charter schools pull kids' names out of a hat to decide who gets to go to that school. They don't judge the students by their grades or by their merit. Anything else? Nope. They just randomly and spontaneously choose a child due to their name being pulled out of the hat. You could also say that for Christmas, my family pulls names out of a hat to decide who to buy a gift for. This way, we don't need to buy a gift for 10 people. We just pull a name out of a hat, and that is the person we buy a nice gift for. Important expression number 3 is vastly. For example, just because you pay for school doesn't mean that it's vastly better than a free school. You need to make sure that the academics are actually what you want them to be before you pay for it. Maybe you should do this for a public school as well. Make sure that it's the kind of education you want your child to be getting. You can also say, I vastly underestimated how challenging this hike would be. This is a common expression that we put together vastly underestimated. That means, well, I thought this hike would be pretty simple. I just wore sandals, I just packed a little water bottle, a little snack, but I vastly underestimated how challenging it would be. This hike is really hard. Important expression number 4 is as of. If I just said as of to you, you would probably say, what? But it makes a lot more sense in a sentence. For example, what percentage of Americans are homeschooling as of 2021? This means at or starting on a certain date. So around 2021, how many students in the US do you think are homeschooled? Another way you can use this is if you are a parent. You might say, as of 8 a.m., I have already done so much. Sometimes in the morning, I look at the clock and say, it's only 8 a.m. or it's only 10 a.m. You feel like you have done so much in the morning. As of 8 a.m., I've already done so much. Important expression number 5 is good-hearted. For instance, I know there are a lot of good-hearted people in the education system, but the education system is still broken. Well, this means that there are a lot of nice, kind teachers who have good intentions in the system, but they're just trying their best in a broken system. We often use this expression in a comparative sort of way. The system is broken, but there are good-hearted people in that system still. Or you could say, I don't agree with everything he says, but I know he's a good-hearted person. Okay? You're trying to compare and kind of give someone something positive to say. Yeah, important expression number 6 is a phrasal verb, to look down on. We're using this figuratively. You can kind of get the sense of superiority. For example, you are looked down on if you choose a different educational system. If you don't follow the mainstream option, other people look down on you and say, why would you choose that? This is obviously the best choice. But there is the US. This is not the case. You are not looked down on if you choose something different. Unfortunately, this is something that happens a lot at school. You might say the other students look down on him because he doesn't wear the right brand name of clothes. Unfortunately, students can also be quite mean to each other, and if someone doesn't wear nice clothes, a certain brand name of clothes, they might look down on him. Sometimes that just happens. Important expression number 7 is actually a reduction, shoulda. The full expression is should have. But when we're speaking, we just reduce the word have to sound like a, and it's shoulda. For instance, I should have thought of that. Sometimes also the second of is reduced. I should have thought of that. Oh, I should have thought of that. And this means that something didn't happen, or you didn't think of something, but you wish you had. Let me give you another example. I knew there was a chance of rain today. I should have brought my umbrella. This means, well, you didn't bring your umbrella, but you wish you had. I should have brought my umbrella. Well, congratulations on the leveling up your vocabulary so that you can express yourself more fully. Thank you so much for learning English with me. And I'll see you again on Tuesday for the rest of this lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye!